Hi, this is Lee Furseth from the Headwaters Science Center here in Bemidji, Minnesota with another 3:30 live show. So what do we do on Wednesdays? I read a book to you, that being our virtual audience. When we have a live audience, I get to read it to them too. And today, here comes the 3:30 I'm going to read to you live show. Before I do that, quick update. Here's the days of the week we're open and the hours. Monday through Saturday, 9:30 to 5 o'clock, 9:30 to 5. We are open Monday through Saturday. On Sundays, we open up right after lunchtime, 1 to 5. Sunday is 1 to 5. And today, I am not reading to Orion. You're going, wait a minute, you always read to Orion. Today, I'm not reading to Orion because I'm reading to these prehistoric creatures right here. These are prehistoric creatures, and I'm going to say, let's say we're reading to this one right here because he is the most colorful one. This is a trilobite, and this trilobite, well, let me tell you all about what we're doing. This trilobite was painted to be an example of what this one could end up looking like. Here it is before it gets painted. We have this educator named Carl. Carl knows a lot about prehistoric animals. He does shows almost every single Monday about prehistoric animals, but he also teaches a class on the painting of these prehistoric animals. His next class is March 26th. Mark that on your calendar. You could do that right now. Go over there and mark it. I won't even start the book quite yet, so you could get back as soon as you mark that in your calendar. March 26th, and yes, there's still room for you in that class. We are not filled up yet. So this is a trilobite, and it's waiting to be painted. It'll get painted in that class. Every one of you will leave with, well, your painted trilobite. Here's an actual fossil.
Yeah, and we were talking about him a little bit while I was doing that painting a couple weeks ago, and trilobites went extinct about 250 million years ago, so it's an old rock you're holding.
Yeah, Ryan was telling me we get to pick our colors because there's no actual evidence of what color they were. There's another fossilized trilobite.
Yeah, I very specifically made mine really colorful because a lot of times you'll see them painted, it's just kind of black or brown, because that's what color fossils usually are.
Yeah, that's Ryan on the other side of the camera, just in case he hasn't gotten introduced to you. If you're wondering what we're all doing here, we have two people, one on each side of the camera. And this is Ryan's. I'll show it to you again. Yours could end up looking like his. So what do you have to do? Call us at the Science Center, 218-444-4472. Or stop on in, sign up for the class. Is there room for you on the class? Yes, there is, but it is March 26th and it is filling up. So you're going to want to get involved. So why did I bring these? Carl just loves to create all kinds of dinosaurs, so I'm betting this one's coming pretty soon. You'll get to leave with your own. And then there's this one. I saw you had enough of those for a class coming up, so this could be another one you could leave with. Not to get you confused, this is the one coming on March 26th. That all felt like a commercial, so maybe we should get to the actual book. What am I reading about today? Here's the name of the book I'm reading. I actually have 3 stories for you, so hang in there through all 3. I'm going to read you this one right now. And here we go. Math counts. Numbers. I very rarely read this page. Well, frequently I go to this page to see what the copyright date was, but today I didn't go to this page for that. I went to this one because it says about the series. So this book, which it says has a major goal of the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics, so the children can become more familiar with numbers. That's what this book is all about, and there's a series of them. So this is the one that calls Numbers. Math counts.
So we have a math counts exhibit on our exhibit floor too. The puzzle cubes are our math counts.
No way. Right on. You should come to the Science Center right there and say, hey, I'd like to see that exhibit that you have. It's a math counts exhibit. There are numbers all around us. There are numbers on houses. There are numbers on cars. There are numbers on your phone. There's numbers on money. How about a $100 bill right there? I don't get to see those very often because I open up my own billfold and they rarely are coming out of my billfold. Numbers help us in many ways. How do these road signs help drivers? These buses have route numbers. How does this help passengers? I'm just betting this is not Bemidji. Looks a little bit too busy.
Looks like it says London on
Yeah,
there.
the bus is London, so we're not in Bemidji, Minnesota with that bus. But here's one. Numbers give us information. There are numbers on these cartons telling us how much each one holds. Yeah, there's a whole lot of other numbers on there too. So there's lots of numbers on a carton. But how about these shoes? So if you put on these shoes, I'm willing to bet that you went bowling. Math. Months are counted in days. Each day has a number. What is today's date? Wow, what is today's date? I think you're getting to listen to the show on March 2nd. March 2nd, Wednesday, March 2nd. So, do you know the date of your birthday? How old are you? Numbers make it easier for us to measure things. We can use numbers to give us information, such as what time is it? How fast is your car traveling? Wow. My car doesn't go up to that many miles per hour. What is the temperature? This is a fun one to go to because usually when you're counting things, you start at 0. But this one starts, well, the 0 is about a third of the way up, and now we're below 0. So thermometers work like that.
Also interesting in that there's 2 answers for what's the temperature on that page.
Yeah,
you could say
very
it's 100, you could say it's 38 or whatever it is.
Yeah. See the C, see the F. How tall is this girl? We use numbers when we measure heights. Again, there are 2 numbers for that particular height. And we measure lengths. Ooh. Orion. I got a picture of an owl going here. Glad we don't have Orion here for this particular book. So, yeah, I was calling out to Oswald there. We have an owl. We use numbers when we measure weights. You'd have to look real carefully at the scale to see the weight of this particular owl. And we measure liquids. We use numbers in sports so that each person is easy to identify. Yeah, I'll have to look careful at the motorcycles. And then they're also on cars. And we don't only put them on bikes and cars, we put them on human beings. And then we provide the spectators with a brochure or a program so they can know which player is which. The scoreboard uses numbers. That one is to show who scored, how many points, which team is winning, how much time is left, all those things. Numbers are used to show positions, first, second, and third. The scoreboard gives the order in which the athletes finish the race. What do the other numbers show? And there's a whole bunch of them here. And to tell you, I don't exactly know what all the other numbers show.
The one on the end is the time. That's the guy on the top is Maurice Green.
Is that somebody you've heard?
Hey, the sprinter.
Sprinter?
He got a new world record, it says at the end.
All right.
WR.
He's way over here. World record. Well, what's the 112?
That's what we're trying to figure out. It's
Because the guy who got second is 101. And then we skip to 103 and then back to 102, which would lead you to believe it's the number on their jersey, except we got 255, 255.
So this is from the 2000 Sydney Olympics. This is where that
Yeah.
scoreboard is from. To narrow it down.
Ryan's doing lots of research on the other
I'm
side.
doing some quick Googling over here.
Yeah. What do numbers in these pictures show? And how about these? What do they tell the drivers? Can you imagine a world, what the world would be like if there were no numbers? All right, now I want to tell you about this book. It's called Two for Me, One for You. So this book is about, well, share and share alike. Share and share alike might sound like something you'd hear maybe a preschool teacher saying to her students. You should share and share alike. Maybe we'd get to kindergarten and there'd still be teachers saying, you know, you should share and share alike. The last time I saw share and share alike, I was reading a legal document. It was actually a will, and in the will it said that those that would be sharing should share and share alike. Well, that all makes perfectly good sense until you get to a book like this, where it's two of them, only they have three things to eat. How do you share and share alike when there are three? And up comes some terms called odd and even. And when is something odd and when is it even in the world of mathematics? Well, here we go. On her way home, Bear found 3 mushrooms. Weasel was very excited. He wiped the mushrooms, seared them, seasoned them with plenty of salt and pepper. Ryan, is that what you do with your mushrooms?
Is it honey?
Mushrooms? He wipes them off. Note, he doesn't wash them. Yeah. He wipes them off, seared them, seasoned them with plenty of salt and pepper, and let them simmer in the frying pan. Wow. I think I'm going to have to stop at the grocery store on the way home, because that's how they're preparing their mushrooms.
Well, it depends what kind of mushroom.
It probably does. Bear dishes up 1 mushroom for you, and 1 mushroom for me, she said, and another mushroom for me. That's fair. I'm big. I need a lot. Weasel did not agree. 1 mushroom for me, 1 mushroom for you, and another one for me. That's fair. I'm small. I still have to grow. 1 for you, 2 for me. That's fair because I found the mushrooms, says Bear. That's not fair at all. You brought them home to me. I did all the work. I wiped the mushrooms off. I seared them. I seasoned them. I simmered them in a heavy pan with parsley. But you used my recipe, said Bear. I set the table. And anyway, I like mushrooms much more than you do, said Bear. This is looking ugly. The weasel's face has gone to completely angry. Mushrooms are my absolute all-time #1 food, and I'm so hungry you can hear my stomach grumbling. Mushroom, mushroom, there's the one creating the problem. Wait, I'm much bigger than you, so my hunger is bigger. My stomach's been grumbling so long it's gone croaky. But I said first that my stomach's grumbling, said Weasel. But I said I wanted the extra mushroom first. 1 mushroom less won't hurt you. Too many mushrooms aren't good for little weasels or for fat bears. Okay, that does it. 2 for me, 1 for you, that's it. In that case, you're not my friend anymore. I believe you should pay attention to another character who's arrived.
Is there a couple pages?
Yeah.
Sneaking around the back.
Hey! Bear and Weasel were stunned. The cheek of it, they shouted. Totally unfair. Can you believe it? He just swiped our mushroom. I'm really glad I'm not reading to Orion. These are some of his worst possible fears. All of these are large carnivores that this would make Orion really feel insecure.
I don't know how many of these guys would be eating mushrooms, really.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet. Ryan knows a lot about animals. He's sitting on the other side saying, we are definitely fictitious here. But then they wished each other bon appetit. The mushrooms tasted wonderful. Then it was time for dessert. Wild strawberries, cried Bear. Delighted, my absolute all-time #1 food. Weasel dished them up. We got an uh-oh coming. Wow, nicely done. Way to go, author. He's leaving it with us. All right, thus the term odd. The third mushroom caused the problem. That is the very definition of odd. So what are the numbers besides 3 are odd numbers? I'll leave that up to you, you listeners. Last book for today, Bean 13. Bean 13. If you're absolutely loving these books and you go, oh, I wish I could read Bean 13, I'll get them back to the public library probably by early next week. You can go get them. It was a warm summer night. Ralph and Flora were picking beans for dinner. How many do you have? Asked Flora. Looks like 12, said Ralph. I'll just pick one more, said Flora. Don't do it. I just love this word bubble. Don't do it, shouted Ralph. Why on earth not? Asked Flora. 13's an unlucky number. Everybody knows that. You're being silly, said Flora. I am not, said Ralph. You are too, said Flora. I'm not, said Ralph. Are too, said Flora. Am not, said Ralph. At home, Ralph and Flora spread the beans out on the table. They made 2 piles, 1 for each of them. Each pile had 6 beans. Oh, look, said Flora. There's 1 left over. You take it, Ralph. Bean 13, gasped Ralph. Never. It's bad luck. Ralph, said Flora, please don't make a fuss. I'm not eating it, said Ralph. And you can't make me. Bean 13. Does this sound like a similar problem for the number 3? I have an idea, said Flora. I'm not eating it, said Ralph. Flora called their friend April. April, would you come over for dinner? We're having beans. I don't understand, said Ralph. We're only going to feed April 1 bean. Oh, of course not, said Flora. We'll make 3 piles. Ralph and Flora separated the beans into 3 piles. Each pile had 4 beans. There was still 1 left over. Bean 13, said Ralph. I told you. That is odd, said Flora. Okay, so I think that was meant to be a joke. Because just like 3 is an odd number, so is 13 as an odd number. They're sticking that in there. That's odd. Let's invite Joe. And make 4 piles, asked Ralph. So it's fair. Ralph, Flora, April, Joe, 3. They still have 1. But when they made 4 piles, there was still 1 bean left over. I don't understand, said Flora. I do, said Ralph. Bean 13 is trouble. It's just a bean, said Flora. I'll call Meg. We'll make 5 piles. This better work, said Ralph, as they separated the beans into 5 piles. Each pile had 2 beans. This time there were 3 beans left over. This is only getting worse, gasped Ralph. Don't panic, said Flora. I'm calling Rocco. He eats everything. Still, it wasn't right. Why does Rocco get 3 beans? Complained Ralph. That's more than anyone else. Well, we could give him 2, said Flora, but... But what? Said Ralph. Never mind, said Flora. Tell me, said Ralph. But what? It's just that we still have an extra bean, said Flora. I'm really not sure why. Lousy Bean 13, cried Ralph. I can't stand it. Ding dong went the doorbell. Our guests are here, shouted Ralph. What are we going to do? He jumped to his feet. He bumped the table. The beans went everywhere. What are you hoping?
breaks in half.
Yeah. Good answer.
Yeah,
One gets lost, rolls underneath the table. Ah, Ralph, sighed Flora. What a mess. Sorry, said Ralph. Here, said Flora. Take this bowl and gather up the beans. I'll go get the door. Hello, everyone, said Flora. I'm so happy you could come over. There are fresh beans in the bowl on the table, said Flora. Please, everyone, help yourself. You know, the last book we read didn't have an ending, right? Out came the strawberries. I hope this one has an ending because I'm feeling like I need to have some sort of resolution to this conflict. The bugs sat down to eat. Does everyone have enough? It's perfect. You bet. Just right. Absolutely. Me too. How strange. I wonder what Oswald was saying there. Dinner was great fun, but at last it was time for the bugs to all go home. You have to admit, said Flora, that worked out perfectly. It did, said Ralph, but I'm confused. What happened to Bean 13? Flora shrugged. Someone ate it. But who? Asked Ralph. We'll never know, said Flora. Maybe April, maybe Rocco, maybe me, maybe even you? All right, so between now and Friday, because Ryan does a follow-up show to the theme that we've chosen, theme being numbers, you just wait until Friday, where he might want to tell you about how this one all got resolution 13, or maybe he's going to do something on this one. That was the number 3 in the resolution to the strawberry issue. Or maybe he's going to talk about the numbers that all appeared in this one. Either way, that's Friday's show. Thanks for listening today. Nice having you here at the Headwaters Science Center, located in Bemidji, Minnesota. Open 7 days a week, Monday through